Well, good evening. It's very, very, very early. It's 12:03 a.m. on the East Coast. Tuesday morning. We're going to talk about Monday night's sports recap. Let's go over everything. We're going to start with football. Then we're going to talk hockey. Then we're going to talk a little betting. Then we're going to talk college basketball, which is fun today. And then we're going to round it out with NBA. And basically, almost everything will be done or almost done as we go through it because we're timing this just perfectly. Okay, football. Big old fat loss. Boy, the football algorithm this week just said, screw you. 69. Nope, that's not a good 69 right there. That's bad. Ugh. And it continues on. I was like, how terrible have we done on Monday nights all year? 5-7. We are just having bad on Thursday nights and Monday nights, right? Thursday nights? Actually, Thursday nights we're 9-5. But Monday nights, we are not having it. And that goes for this week. We hit the Redskins, Washington football clubs, points on the nose. Seattle doesn't put up. And nobody's confusing Seattle's defense with the defense of Richard Sherman in years back. It's not happening. This is a loss, and I wish we had a streaking thing to show how teams are playing because Seattle's playing bad and Washington's playing good, and I don't have it anywhere on here to show how the team's streaking the way we do in hockey. It's a good segue to hockey. We have that over here, how the team is streaking over the last couple weeks, month, 45 days, 2 months. And it's helpful to see that. And it was helpful today because it put Arizona over the top to make them a pick of the day, and they win the game 1-0. I had them at plus 260 on a round robin. I took the under in this game with Vancouver and Montreal. It was under. I took the over with Off the Wall Hockey John, who also said take over 5.5. They double that. They get to 11. That's what they do. Not a problem. And Calgary wins in a shootout just because it's a good hockey night. So all four hit there. The problem is I am a terrible, terrible, terrible bettor, and for some reason I put the Seahawks on the same ticket. And I bet $25. I only bet $50 today because I've been pissed off at my betting. I had a bad Sunday. I was like, I'm not doing my normal Benjamin today. I was like, I'm just betting $50. I'm laying off. I'm not even going to watch much. Like, there's only one game. So I only bet 25 on what was going to be hockey, and I threw the Seahawks on there just to make the NFL algorithm punish me the entire week on everything I do. Get NFL out of there sometimes. Don't mix this up. Don't dirty your stack, as they say in poker. Really, there should have been no football on here. No football. Don't worry about that game. This should have been just a hockey ticket. And then when you want to split up something like $25, it's a whole lot easier. And you see what it would have paid. Right? So like 2, 3. Yeah, look at that. Oh man, right? Everything hits. And you get 8-1. I mean, right? It's sad. So that is not what I did. I did this. And Seattle can't even convert on a 2-point conversion. The former Washington Redskins tried to lose. Had Seattle come back somehow and won, there was a 15-1 payout waiting for me. Instead, it is down to what, a 3-1 payout, 2.8? Yeah, 3-1 payout, which is still not bad. So that's hockey, that's football. Well, what happened with college basketball? And this is what's fascinating. There's still a game going on which is almost ending. It's Montana and Oregon. That game is under 2 minutes left, and the score is 46-82. Oregon is just crushing it. So when we refresh everything, we see that we are 16-5. That is actually a game we're losing. We somehow had a huge underdog, Montana, not only covering but winning the game away. What we can see is that with a small home bump of, it has to go actually just like 3% home bump, gets this to, it has to be a little bit more, 4%er. I didn't want to go to 5 because I thought I knocked off the other game, but I guess not. You can get to 18-3 with a little bit of a home bump, which is appropriate in college basketball. That's why we only look at home teams. But your away teams, your Cornell underdog wins. Like what happens with underdogs at this level? You hit both your underdogs, Grand Canyon and Cornell both win here. But at 0% home bump, you don't win them all, right? Because you have Montana, which is what happened. and Tulsa. So the margin really, that's remember I did mention this about these two having really high margins. That is super important. Fascinating. Fascinating. So still a 16-5 day, lots of strings of wins. I like what I did. The things that lost were big. You see that we have this minus 625 way down here. Here's what's interesting. So we win 12 of the top 13 games. Well, how did the odds makers do? Okay. Ascending by money line. What this will show is the order that the odds makers had the favorites. They lost but only lost 2 of their first 16, but they lost a couple up here. They had Colgate, I guess, where we didn't, right? Yeah, we had Colgate way down here, which lost, which means I think the algorithm's a big win against Vegas there, because you see how much further down we had that game. They were minus 625 and only a 13% margin. Fascinating stuff. So even against the spread with no home bump, this is 11-8, and with that 4% home bump, what is it then? Oh, 15-6 and 18-3. Wow. That's pretty awesome. And that's very, and even if you were like, oh, Ken says bump everything 10%, what did that do? Still 17-4 and 14-7. You wow. And the big spreads don't all win, which makes sense, but the medium ones, man, a lot of them win. Down here, you have Oral Roberts this way. It's very, very, very interesting. So I'm happy with what college basketball did, and it will be a pleasure to look at it tomorrow with so much many fewer, I guess, of these tournament games. That's awesome. Oh, yeah, when I was entering in scores, right? So looking at, somebody just filled that in. So you see 16-5 on here. When I was looking at scores, some of them were just like really, really, really close and ridiculous. Like stuff like this. This is an underdog pick of Cornell over Canisius. We hit this game 3 points off. 1 3-pointer Cornell extra has than our exact predicted score. I mean, fast. That's that. Try to do that. That's a robot that does that. You can't do that. There were, I mean, just ranges of things. Like we hit a lot of stuff really, really, really close sometimes. Like look at this stuff, right? Another underdog pick, Grand Canyon. Exactly the way we think. They give up a few more points, but they were an underdog anyway. I mean, wow, on the road. That's hit on the nose we hit the points. Here we are totally wrong. And Montana's totally. So I'm going to look at why the odds makers, for example, knew this and the algorithm didn't. So this is one that I'll dig into. I'll remember that. I'll look at that to learn from that when we go through the standing sheet. And I look up those two teams and we'll compare all their things here, and I'll see what it is that the algorithm is reading wrong, that the odds makers obviously did better with us on this game because they knew this was a minus 760 and we did not. We actually favored Montana. Totally wrong. But the algorithm got a lot of stuff right. So college basketball looking exciting, looking up. NBA to finish the day. Right here, there's a Pelicans-Clippers game, and the Clippers were losing, and they're big favorites. So I want to know what happens. It's probably still going on. That game's got 12 minutes left, and New Orleans is up right now, 90-78. So the Clippers are really gonna have to turn it on. Let's assume that this holds, but whatever, because it's a loss too. So unless the Clippers come back, you only have a 5-4 day for basketball. Our underdogs, how'd they do? 1-1, and the one that hit paid pretty well with Cleveland, and you could see two hurting teams though, so it was still a wash. I mean, I don't know. We'll start getting more data. One thing I did notice was power over here. Is that they're all much stronger teams. In college basketball, we have some teams that are really, really low power, and that affects what you're looking at. Like one of the teams I said to play Columbia was the one I pointed out to you, obvious loser, because if it comes out of my mouth, it loses. Have we not learned that by now? If I say, I like something, that's it. Guaranteed L. You could chalk it up right now. But here's something I did mention about them when I saw that was I go, oh, they're only a 10% power team. Look at the powers of all these teams. As a matter of fact, let's sort all these teams that we have on this list descending by power for a second. And you'll see how low they are on that list. Columbia is the lowest team on the list by power. It's sad when you look at it that way, isn't it? You know, look at this whole list when we look at it that way. You know? And I'll find out why Montana is essentially mislabeled and get them out of there. And what happened in the Colgate game? The answer is the odds makers and us got the Colgate game wrong, so that's okay. Tulsa was close, actually, toward the end. I'll give them credit for a good game. They didn't cover the 2. And Columbia was the lowest team on here anyway, and I gave them to you. That's so me. All right, well, we've learned a lot about college basketball today. Back to NBA. So power. So, like, Oklahoma was a really low-power team, and I told you to play it just like Columbia because I have the worst betting instincts known to man. So, of course not. Cleveland is a stronger team, better line, so many more reasons actually to play Cleveland. They even won the game. Bulls, minus 200 win. Wizards on the road lose. Why was this pick all the way up here? I don't understand. San Antonio must be bad. Heat lose to the Nuggets, but everybody's hurt, so you could tell something was going to go on there. Jazz win. Clippers are losing. And Sixers win, but don't cover. They end up winning by 5. Don't cover 15. All right. So I guess that's the recap for the day. We'll be back tomorrow on Tuesday with a bunch of other stuff. Thank goodness there's no football, and I get one of these sports off on Tuesday. But I'll be excited to go over hockey. Especially we have a brand new Google Sheet too that we can send people to show hockey picks if I don't do a hockey video. And we will definitely do college basketball because I'm sure there's a million games. I mean, that's all that happens is there's a million games. For example, before we go, just glance. I bet you there's at least 40 games on a Tuesday. There are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 40. Oh, Jesus. I lost count at about 51, I think. That makes sense. So we'll have a lot of fun with that tomorrow. All right, good luck, everybody. May all your picks be winning. I hope your picks won today. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, one last thing. I bet all these basketball games. How bad was it? Montana loses, too. It was a complete loser, I believe. Yep, $25 down the tubes. Yeah, only thing I win is Cornell and Grand Canyon. And I didn't even bet them to win because I'm a wuss. So that's how you make terrible picks. You can do better with the algorithm because when the algorithm has a day like about 16-5, right? And you saw what it did with the home bump. I don't know. I don't know how I pull a 2-4. 2-4. Oh, yuck. All right. Well, good luck, everybody. May your picks be winning.